What's up, everybody? Renfail here, back again with some more EVE Online. And I've been playing this game for the past few weeks on Saturday mornings for about 3 hours each session. I've created a few guides around it. I've been doing a little bit of the career agent missions. And most recently, I started doing this epic story arc around this storyline, which is part of the... what is it called here? I'm going to pop into the agent thing here. The Bloodstained Stars. And I'm genuinely surprised because this has been like a traditional MMORPG quest, which I didn't know that this game had. Everyone was always telling me how this is like a game that's all about, joining a corporation and engaging in huge PvP battles and, all this other stuff, which was one of the reasons I never tried this game because I abhor PvP. But it turns out that there actually is this sort of storyline section to the game that you can go through and do all these missions apart from the starter missions, which I didn't know. And as a result of that, I have started to have some new thoughts about EVE Online, which I kind of wanted to share with everybody here. So, we went and fought some pirates before this, and we came back, and it's talking about how he, found a first guy, he's a fighter, the crew manifest listed as red, his convoy has him under the same handle. He says, I'm giving you coordinates to intercept the convoy. You should be able to catch them before they get too far. Be quick, though. I'm worried they don't have enough security to deal with the number of pirates where they're heading. They might need your help. Now, it says here, declining a mission more than once every 4 hours may result in the loss of standing, which is really interesting. Unless it says otherwise. But I'm gonna go ahead and accept this, and we're gonna go do this mission, and I want to talk about things as we go along, because it's been really interesting for me to get into this game now that I've gone beyond the initial tutorials, and I've started to get into this. So I love how the ship kind of folds together as we're going into warp, and the sound effects, like the sound effects for this game are so damn good. Visually, it looks really good. I will admit my 1080 in this 7-year-old laptop is struggle busing a little bit to play this game, because it actually, for a 20-year-old game, looks really good. It says you need red in your cargo hold, and I guess I'm looking for red. I don't see him anywhere at the moment. But I do have these bandits, so we're going to do some space combat. Take care of these guys first. Alright. Let's go ahead and head in. Oh, you know what? I don't have a lot of ammo. Hopefully I'm not going to get into deep doo-doo for trying this. So we're turning around. We're heading in to do some combat here with these Corpy worshippers. I wonder if I was supposed to head to the beacon, maybe. I guess retrieving red, you need red in your cargo hold. Alright, let's go ahead and start firing on these guys. The combat is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. I've just been doing these PvE missions, and honestly, look how quickly I'm wiping out these ships. And I realize it's because I'm in early level content, and it's not necessarily meant to be super challenging. These are starter missions after all. But I've been genuinely just impressed with the gameplay so far. The storylines have been good. The sound effects are great. The combat it's interesting. It reminds me a little bit of Star Trek Online. Here, we got a warping in. Where you've got the orbital combat. Alright, let's go ahead and get this guy, and then we'll deal with trying to find what I'm looking for. But one of the things that got me today is I was traveling here, and on the way here I had it on autopilot because it had to jump like 7 systems. I'm totally wasting ammo because these guys are too far away. Let's approach. What is my orbit set to? So I had to do like 7 or 8 jumps to get here. And as a result, I was autopiloting for like 15-20 minutes. And so I just tabbed out and was like reading and doing research online, doing some video editing elsewhere. And what really surprised me was as I kept tabbing back over, like we kept going through all these different environments. And visually, what amazed me is how good, like look at that nebula. How good the game looks for being 20 years old. Alright, now I don't know exactly what I'm looking for here. It says agent home base. It says I just need to warp to location, so we'll do that here in a second. Okay. I love how my ship folds up. That's just so cool. And the warp visuals and everything as we get into warp speed here. That looks so cool, right? Alright, and this is the guy we've been dealing with, so we can start our conversation. Complete the mission. Go ahead and stop my ship here. He's dead, huh? Figures. I'll keep the investigation open, but unless something changes, there's little Concord can do. And from here, I'll just request the next mission, and we'll just go down the list. So what has genuinely surprised me is the fact that like you can go in here. I'm a new player, right? So there are tons of missions, and they're clearly laid out in all of these different manners. So you've got Paragon missions, mission agents, career agents, epic arcs, which is what I'm working on right now. There's encounters, there's exploration, there's resource harvesting missions. If you want to join a fleet, there's this thing about fleeting up. And then the complexity of all of the skill points, which I remember trying this game years and years and years ago and being overwhelmed with all of the skills in the game. But now they have all this stuff where they've got these certified skill plans where you can just click a plan, like manufacturer as an example, show all the skills in this thing, and just click start training, and it will start training all the abilities for you. So right now, I'm training the Galente Bounty Hunter and the Galente Mission Runner. All these things and some other stuff, and I've got a training queue that has about 14 days, 9 hours on it. So that's going to be about 2 weeks of real time. So I'm only playing on Saturdays, right? Like Saturday mornings. And so I've already gone through the entire Enforcer line, which the Air Galente Enforcer was like 7 days. And then I also did some other stuff. So I've done 2 weeks of training already, and I've got about another 2 weeks of training already scheduled out over there. And so I'm looking at this from a new player's perspective and going, you know, I realize that PvP is in the game, and I realize that there is the possibility that I will get, suicide ganked at some point. I have been told that because I'm doing PvE missions in high security space, I believe is the terminology, that I should be relatively safe because no one's really going to be coming after me because there are repercussions to doing that, to like seeking out new like PvE players and purposely griefing them and stuff like that. There are repercussions to that. So people generally don't do it. I've heard that most of the PvP is like focused on the end game where all of these people are located. And that if you're coming into the game like me, into a 20-year-old game, and you're just running all of these storyline missions, you really don't have anything to worry about, which has been genuinely, it's been genuinely appealing to me. I went into this not thinking that I was going to want to spend a lot of time in this game. And I have now found myself, especially now that I've discovered that there are these story arcs above and beyond the training missions. It's like, so I did the Enforcer mission and the Soldier of Fortune. So I got some really cool ships out of that, which are combat-based ships, which are, I don't have the recent one I've got. It's a really big one because I've got this really good sort of like run-of-the-mill ship, which is is it a frigate? I don't remember what kind of ship it is, but it's been pretty good for me so far, as you just saw in the combat. And until I reach a point where I start having difficulty, I'm not going to trade that ship out because it works. And there's hundreds of ships in the game. There's all these cosmetic skins that you can get into. There's obviously, I would argue from what I've been able to see, at least a couple hundred quests that you can do right out of the gate as a new player, just going through storyline content. And I think that from what I've seen in terms of getting all the necessary skills under your belt, there's probably a couple months of skill training to get all like the basic skills that you're going to need to run all the ships that you're going to get from the starter missions and everything else. And so for someone like me who's playing this game very casually, like once a week on Saturday mornings for like 2 or 3 hours, I could see myself having this be a regular part of my repertoire. You know, like people have D&D groups where they get together on like, you know, Friday nights and play for 3 hours twice a month or something. I think this is going to be my Saturday morning game for the next couple of months at the very least, because I am having fun in it. And what's been very interesting to me is as I've been creating these ultimate beginner's guides around my experience learning these things, they've been doing very well in the algorithm on YouTube, and that's very interesting to me because I would think that a 20-year-old game would be overly saturated with content, and there are people out there creating guides around it, but apparently my guides are finding a place for it. So I'm like, well, I'm having fun. The guides are doing pretty well. The streams are doing okay. They're growing on the audience. There seems to be a pretty decent audience on Twitch for the multi-streams. So all of those are reasons why I think I'm going to keep this in my repertoire for the foreseeable future. I would say that I'm probably going to be putting at least 3 months into this game, definitely all throughout November, December, and probably into January, in between Rogue Trader and, you know, our World of Warcraft stuff, because this isn't something that I'm playing with other people. It's very much a single player experience I'm doing for myself on a Saturday morning when it's, you know, 5:30 in the morning. I'm playing for 2 or 3 hours, and so it's easy for me to weave this into the content creation on a once a week basis, and I think it's pretty fun. And I would urge people out there, if you've never played this game before and you want a decent little space game, might want to give it a shot. It's not for everybody, I realize that, but you know, it's kind of fun. Here's this person. I want to report to her, and the reason I want to do this really quick is I think she's a couple jumps away. Set destination, she is 3 jumps. So this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because once you do this, once you've set this, you can hit the autopilot down here. And we're just going to sit back and enjoy the ride, everybody. Why don't we go ahead and go into track? You know. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload, or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. And this is what inspired me to want to make this video, is when I did the 7 jumps to the location. We're going to go through a jump gate here. Visually, this game looks amazing, right? And I just get a very genuine science fiction feel, especially when you see how big some of these space stations are. I think the ship they're sending us to even is so big that when we first got there, it was like, I felt like, you know, when you watched the Dune movie that came out a couple years ago from Denis, was it Villeneuve? And we get to see the Navigator ship that's dropping everybody off on Arrakis, and you've got the entire House Atreides fleet that gets put into that vessel along with everybody else, and the size and scope of that ship is somewhat staggering when you look at it. And I kind of feel the same way about this. We'll get there in a minute. The ambient music, I don't know, guys. I did not anticipate that I was going to be enjoying this game as much as I am. And I'm enjoying it without ever touching any of the PvP space battles that people have always told me that's what this game is all about. I'm not in a fleet. I don't feel compelled to join a fleet. I'm literally playing this game like a single-player space RPG where I'm just exploring and having fun. And I'm seeing stuff like this on my screen, and I'm like, it's music, sound effects, my spaceship folding up and going into warp, and this right here, and like wormholes, and all of the things I love about science fiction, right? So cool. All right, we got one more jump, and I think we're gonna be at the ship. Which, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's so damn big. I do just want to take a look at it as we get there. But I love like the autopilot. Like I could totally go to the bathroom and come back. And I know some people have said, yeah, but if the warp gate's being hit by PvP and you jump in the middle of a battle, you know, you can get attacked and everything else. I'm like, my ship's insured. I'm not really that worried about it. It's like, I don't think the PvP is something I'm ever going to worry about. And I'm sure at some point somebody will stream snipe me on a Saturday morning. It'll happen, because there are dicks out there. But until that point, look at the size of this Stargate, man. Look at that. Like I just panned out from my tiny little ship. Genuinely cool. Oh yeah, this is the Sister of Eve's Bureau, guys. Check out how big this place is. So we're asking to dock, and we're flying in. And keep in mind, I'm in a tiny little ship. It's a big, big, big ship. Look at the size of this thing. Like I could pan out and I'm just this tiny little ant. You know, coming into this behemoth of a vessel. And if you look at this, we can show the info on it. This is the space station. And I love how you can actually see these assets laid out in real time. With like the entry line and everything. You can see that's like a runway going into the ship and everything. There's a lot of detail here. They've had 20 years to build up on this, and I gotta say, I am genuinely impressed by everything that I've seen so far. So, yeah, expect to see EVE Online being a regular part of my channel for the foreseeable future as I continue to play. And I'll probably make a guide or two every week. I'm enjoying making the guides for this game. I'm enjoying getting deeper into it. I have other ships, but I haven't felt compelled to change over from this one yet because this one's serving me well so far. I enjoy it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them down below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. And hopefully we'll see you in one of the live streams on Saturday mornings, being multi-streamed here on YouTube and over on Twitch. Check out the playlist. Join the Discord. Check out the member videos if you're a member of the channel. And I'll see everybody next time. Until then, safe flying, everybody.